gospel. I was watching a documentary on YouTube videos about Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was with the rock group Queen, and he actually had some songs that I like. And originally, Freddie Mercury was going to be, or training to be, an opera singer. And actually, you can sort of pick up on some of that, his voice and some of his songs or music, that the training of the voice. You can sort of pick up on that, some of that in his music. But Freddie Mercury was a homosexual, and he died. I forget the exact date of his death, but he died of AIDS. And in the interview, the story it was telling about, and I don't know who this one person was, but someone came to Freddie, and it was in the 80s when a lot of the statistics were coming out about AIDS, the AIDS virus and HIV. And this one person came to Freddie and warned him and said, Freddie, your lifestyle, don't you think you're taking a lot of risk with the type of life that you're living? I mean, there is a danger there that, this could take you out, or you could end up with some kind of disease. And in the interview, Freddie's response was, well, I'm not worried about that. I don't bother me with that. And I was just sort of touched by that story, that there was one person that came to Freddie who cared enough to warn him, maybe to correct him. And I only imagine how many fair weather friends Freddie had, because, when you're famous and when you're just loaded with money, basically your friends will tell you anything you want to hear. And they will never tell you anything, they will never disagree with you on anything. And so I was touched by the story because there was one person that came to Freddie and cared enough to warn him about the lifestyle and the danger that he could end up dead, And of course, it was, I think, 2 or 3 years later that Freddie did pass on. Now, I was reading some statistics about the average lifespan of the homosexual, and actually some of these statistics you can get on the gay and lesbian website. I think they say age 40. The statistic I heard was 38, that the average life expectancy of a homosexual is 38 years old. I mean, think about it. We've got a group of people, a community of people who are dying at age 38 years old. I once read a book that said life began at 40. And, and here's a community of people who are not even reaching that age of 40 when life truly begins. And I think it's sad. Now, also, I heard a statistic that said, this was by Shelby Lubin. Shelby Lubin was a ex-porn star. She came out of that gross sin, and she's got a very good book, and I can't think of the name of the book, but she said the average life expectancy of people who are in the porn industry is also 38 years of age. They die at age 38. I mean, this is unreal. And because they are involved in similar, deviant behavior of multiple partners, of oral sex, anal sex, that's the kind of lifestyle that they live. And for that reason, their life expectancy is 38 years old. They're going to die very young, very young. Now, I want to tell you who I believe the real haters of the gay community, who they really are. Because a lot of times, if someone like myself, if I speak out against, homosexuality, and obviously I think that it's wrong and that it is a sin and that it is condemned by the Bible. And, but when you do that, often people will say, well, you're a hater of the gay community. And nothing could be further from the truth. So I want to tell you who I think the real haters of the gay community, who they are. It is the people who, knowing these statistics, life expectancy for the gay community, 38 years old, knowing those statistics, actually go ahead and encourage them, go ahead, have at it, practice your perversion. Here's a marriage license. Yeah, I know you're going to die at age 38, but I don't care. The real haters of the gay community are the ones who are actually encouraging them to continue their lifestyle. That's the real haters of the gay community. Let me tell you something. Just because someone promises you everything that you want, like a right to get married, just because someone is giving you or promising you everything that you think you want does not mean that they love you. And just because, now on the other side of the coin, is just because someone comes along and corrects you and tells you that you're wrong doesn't mean that they hate you, okay? In fact, often the people that come into our lives who care enough to correct us are actually the ones that love us the most.